Hey folks, my name is Mo Amir and this is VANCOLOUR, British Columbia's bona fide culture and politics TV talk show. Tonight we're slipping into peak sad season, that midwinter malaise where daylight is fleeting, the clouds never quit, and morale runs on fumes. But don't despair, wellness guru Aaron Ashley has life hacks for you to resist the winter blues. Plus, a longtime VANCOLOUR fan who's now starring in a brand new CBC TV series is going to flex on me and tell me how to do my job, all in good fun. But first, the city of Vancouver just told staff to spend more time in the office. In fact, across Canada, employers are making a renewed push to call workers back to the office as work from home starts to sound like a relic of the pandemic era. They all say it's about collaboration, mentorship, and teamwork. But is it really? Returning to the program to explain, the straight-shooting, potty-mouth host of the Angry Mortgage podcast, the legend himself, Ron Butler. Ron, so great to see you.
Great to be here. Thank you.
Are you working from the office, or is this your work from home setup?
Oh no, I actually always worked from the office. Like every intelligent thing during COVID, if you were a dry cleaner or a mortgage broker, you weren't restricted. You could come to your office and work. I mean, you had to be masked, etc. Like those are two important distinctions, vital industries, right? So,
absolutely.
So we always work. I've never worked from home, not once during the whole COVID experience. So, but now, yeah, this is in our office, and almost our entire staff has returned to work here. Yeah.
Now, it does feel like lately there has been a very serious push to get people back into the office. As I said, employers are talking about how it cultivates better culture and mentorship and collaboration, but you're not buying it. So what's your take?
My take is twofold. That number one, employers just feel people are goofing off. They're working 2 jobs. They're working 3 jobs. They're walking their dog when they're supposed to be working. They're picking up their kids from school. They're doing all those things, and that gets under an employer's skin and makes them mad. The other big consideration in a location like Toronto is that all these downtown offices are highly interlinked to financial institutions, whether it's life insurance companies, banks, pension plans, pension funds. It's very REITs. It's extremely. They're all interlinked together. So if you are the banks and you know that you've got a bunch of lending on the line through various partnerships that you think have to do with offices being full, then you bring your own staff back. And so do the life cos, and so do the lawyers, and so do all of those surrounding industries, because you have a vested interest in downtown office towers.
Okay, but having physical offices isn't cheap for any company. So how do we know that this recent push to get people back in the office isn't about productivity, like you said off the top, but it's actually more about, the connection to these financial relationships? Like, why would any company take on more overhead costs?
Because if you're a bank, office leases are roughly three-quarters of expense of your 1%, less than 1% of your actual expenses. They're expensive, but in the framework of the huge success of these financial companies, they're very, very unimportant. But what is important is the lending and the partnerships that exist between all these different entities. And they do indeed have an interest in keeping offices full, keeping condos busy, condos selling downtown, having restaurants and other facilities working. The whole ecosystem of a successful downtown work environment is financially important. And in the scheme of things, if you're a big rich company like banks and telcos and life cos, it's a tiny, tiny fraction of your expenses in reality.
And so when we talk about commercial real estate specifically and its connections to the financial sector, whether that is financial institutions, pensions, or institutional investors, like Is it that all these big companies have an interest in commercial real estate? I'm just trying to understand the full impact of commercial real estate to these large companies, aside from banks.
Yeah, they all have linkages. So if you're a pension plan, you have tons of commercial real estate. If you're a REIT, many of those REITs are not about multifamily, they're about commercial. If you are an intermediary lender, you're not the actual bank, but you're a big lender that's a kind of a private credit lender, you still have a deep relationship with the bank. And it all circles. If you're a life insurance company, you have commercial mortgages, you have other types of investments in real estate. And it just benefits everyone in that ecosystem that the offices are full. I'll give you an idea. In Toronto, AAA office, that is best office, the finest, newest, best buildings in the best locations downtown, they're actually fully leased. Their vacancy rate has gone down to 2.5%.
Wow.
So if that doesn't tell you that there is a whole dynamic about keeping offices full, that tells you. When your vacancy rate on the most expensive office buildings is down to 2.5%, only 4.5 years after COVID, it tells you something.
Well, you know what, Ron? A wise man once said, "The big dog must always eat."
100% right. That's 100% right, Mo.
Ron, you're a beaut. Thank you so much for your time tonight. I appreciate it.
Thanks again.
Folks, follow him on the socials and check out the Angry Mortgage podcast for his trademark no-nonsense insights. He is Ron Butler. Now, after some business, it's not you, it's everything else. We'll tackle the seasonal slump and get expert tips on beating the winter blues up next.